Yo, what is good YouTube? I'm back with another how-to video. This one I'm going to be doing how to make sexy drill type beats. This is like the type of beats that like Cobain and Ice Spice, like the songs that they make, and any other sexy drill artists. So yeah, I'm going to be breaking down how I make the beat. First I'll show a little preview and then I'll break down every single sound and how to make them. Alright, let's go jump into it. Alright, so that was a little preview of the beat. Now I'm gonna break down all the sounds. So tempo for this, I like working probably from like 150 to 170. 160 is kind of like the sweet spot though. I've been making a lot like around this little tempo. So yeah, let's break down the sounds. So really for this genre, I guess it's pretty much just drill sounds with R&B type sounds also. So that's kind of why it's called sexy drill. It's pretty much just R&B drill is another name you could give it. So yeah, this first instrument is from the DX7 and it's kind of like a vintage like keyboard, I guess, and it's the 80s FM electric piano. Yeah, that one's really good, and these are the chords I did. So yeah, it just sounds like super like R&B-ish, and all I did on the chords pretty much is just mess with the velocity, and then I also just nudged some of the notes. See how they're not like perfectly on grid? Like I strummed them pretty much. I just used the strum tool on FL Studio, or you could just manually drag them, and I just did that just to give it a more human feel. It still sounded good if like when I was making the beat. It still sounded good when they were all like on, you know, when they were all quantized, but it just sounded a little bit better this way. Especially with this R&B, like sexy drill type genre, you kind of want to make it sound more human and more natural. So yeah, I just strummed them. And for effects, I didn't really add many effects to any of the sounds really. All I did was add some echo boy, which is delay. I just did a 1/4 delay, and then crystalline, which is like a reverb. So I just added a little bit of reverb, so you can hear what it sounds like without the stuff. Like, and then with it. Yeah, there you could hear the echo and the reverb doing its thing. So yeah, that's pretty much all I did for, and that's like the main sound that I used throughout like the whole beat. Like I only used one main keyboard sound and then a pad over here that I'll get to later. But yeah, that's really simple. You can add more stuff too. You don't just have to have one, but just in this specific case, I only needed to use one, and it sounded good throughout the beat. Next. Another aspect that you kind of need for this type of beat is like a vocal chop, vocal sample, or like your own vocals, like in the background kind of. So this is what this sounds like. I have like 2 or 3 different sets of these. And I used Arcade for this. That's one of them, and then another one. I got this one. This one's just pitched down. So yeah, I just used like those 2 vocal chops, and then I kind of pitched them down in some spots, just mess with them. That way it doesn't sound super repetitive. Like if I just had this 8-bar loop and then just repeated that over and over again, it might get a little repetitive since I'm only using the same electric piano, but since I switched up the vocal chop and some of the sounds, it kind of keeps it fresh. So yeah, I would recommend that, unless it just sounds like if you have a super fire vocal chop, you could run that like throughout the whole beat and it would probably sound good. So it's all up to your sound selection. So yeah, that's the little vocal chop. So yeah, that's another aspect. All right, now I'll do some of the drums and then I'll get to the bass and the pad. So yeah, for the drums, it's really just like drill type drums or like patterns, so you can hear these. Yeah, very drill like sounding. And what I did for these, if I remember correctly, yeah, so if you go into FL Studio and you go to the gear icon up here, and then you go to the echo delay, section, I just turned up the feed, and that gives it like a little delay to it. A lot of people don't really use that. You could throw on a delay effect plugin also, and it pretty much has the same thing, but I just used that real quick, and it sounds good. So yeah, I just used the in-house delay from the FL Studio. So yeah, those are the little hi-hats. Other sounds are just like some snaps that you want to have. It's really like R&B, like kind of like light sounds. Like you don't want to have super, trap heavy sounds on these type of beats. Sometimes they'll sound good though, don't get me wrong. So yeah, here are just some of the sounds. So yeah, it doesn't sound that crazy like without any other sound, just sounds like random little sounds going off, but in context it sounds a lot better. Okay, here's another very important part on these sexy drill, R&B drill type beats, is this stomp. I know y'all have heard that like a million times probably. So yeah, I use it pretty much like a kick. And this stomp, it comes from like a Gwen Stefani like song from back in the day, and it's like the first sound that plays in one of her songs. I forgot the name of it, but it's like a sound that's in one of her songs, and you can just like cut it out, or you could just look up any like sexy drill drum kit probably, and it has it in there also. So yeah, that's like a sample from Gwen Stefani. It's like a kick stomp sound, and that pretty much like every sexy drill beat has that stomp. And then I pretty much just copied and pasted that same stomp to a regular kick. So this is like a regular, trap kick. Like a rat kick pretty much, so like everybody has. So yeah, that's just paired with the stomp. Like, and I just did that just so it has more like low end. Like I didn't want to just do the stomp. It probably sounded solid also without the trap kick, but I just wanted the beat to hit a little bit more. Okay, another important aspect is your bass. So with your bass, you just want to do like I'll play it first. So yeah, that's my bass. And with your bass, you just want to follow the root notes of your chords. So there you could see, those are the same root notes that were up here for my chords. Yeah, the G, F, D sharp. So yeah, I just got those, and then I just added like a little rhythm to them. Like I didn't want to just do the 3 plain lines. I raised up the octave right here, cut it off a little bit here. Here I did kind of the same pattern as the kick, so it goes with that. So yeah, you just want to switch it up. You don't want to make it too boring. Sometimes it sounds good just with the 3 lines, or just with like if you just did the root notes. But I just added a little bit of spice there. So yeah, that's the bass, and this is just like a one-shot bass, but you can get it from like Vital, Serum. Literally any synth can make like a simple bass like that, vintage bass too. Let's see, we got some other little sounds here. This is like a little clap snare, open hat. So yeah, nothing. Oh yeah, another thing I want to go over is like the snare pattern on these types of beats is like this. Is like so pretty much like the drill pattern. Also, some people will put this snare one over like right here, so it'll go like that. Sometimes it's pretty much very similar, but I just did it this way. But you could do it the other way as well for drill or sexy drill, R&B drill. Okay, other sounds. I have this one tiny little like Serum Synth, and that just plays at the end of like every bar, so you can hear what that sounds like. Yeah, it's just it's kind of just giving the listener like, okay, this is the end of this bar. It's about another thing's about to start. So yeah, little things like that. And then lastly, for synths is just this pad, and I literally just copied and pasted my chords that were up here on the electric piano, and I just put it on the Vital. It sounds like with it, and it just gives it like that nice, like, I don't know, airy feeling, like nighttime feeling, flying feeling. I don't know, it just fills up the beat nicely. So I added that. Lastly, just these little effects. I just have like a little glass effect. Nothing crazy there. And then like a down filter that I use on like every other beat that I make. Just so good. And I just put that at the end of the hook. Yeah, like at the start of the verse, and then it goes back into the verse there. So yeah, nothing too complicated. Very simple sounds. Literally like 2 or 3 synth sounds and just a bunch of drums. It's all about just your sound selection, making sure everything sounds and like plays its part. Like don't try to throw in some crazy like distorted hyper pop synth or something trying to fit in. Like, bro, why isn't my beat sounding right? Like I'm trying to make sexy drill. Well, it's because it's not fitting like that genre. And I'm not saying you can't experiment. Obviously experiment. If it sounds good, it sounds good. But if you're trying to make more, trying to like hone in on the sound and make sure everything kind of fits together well. So yeah, that's pretty much the beat. I'll play the beat one more time, like for like 20 bars here at the end if anybody wants to listen to it. But that's pretty much the tutorial. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments. If you guys want me to make like a specific type of tutorial, also just comment down below. And yeah, y'all take it easy. I'm just gonna play the beat for the end. Later, y'all.